Hi friends, I'm going to share with you the one strategy that will prevent your child from having tantrums at the store. Now, if your child has already had a couple of incidents, that's okay. This one thing will work for them too. My husband and I have 3 kids, and our 2 oldest are 9 and 10. Between the 2 of them, they've probably had 5 or 6 tantrums at the grocery store because of something that they wanted. So I know that what we've been doing with them for the last 8 or 9 years has actually worked. So I am going to share with you the what, the when, the how of how to put the strategy into place, and at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you why it works. What you'll need to get started are 2 things. Number 1 is an open mind, and number 2 is a spending account for your child that includes both coins and dollar bills. Now, when I say an open mind, what I mean is don't underestimate your child's ability to understand money and to understand spending. If you treat your child as if they're incapable of handling money, this is what they will believe, and it will handicap them. So you want to have open conversations about managing money and spending money, and you want to do it in a way that is age appropriate. So you want to use words that they can understand, but allow them to ask you questions. And the second thing that you will need is a spending account for your child that includes both coins and dollar bills, which is specifically designated for your child to be able to spend at the store. This is your secret weapon to be able to get out of the store without your child having a tantrum. So you want to make it something portable. Something as simple as a Ziploc bag or some of these polyurethane envelopes that you can get at the dollar store. They work perfectly fine. Just make sure they're portable and easy for you to carry. Now let's talk about when it's a good idea to start putting this into practice. If your child has already had a meltdown or a tantrum at the store, obviously he or she has already seen things at the store that they want to take home with them, right? So right now, it's the perfect time to start giving them a little bit of money to manage, and make sure that one of their accounts is a fun account, which means this is the account that they will take with them to the store anytime you guys go together. Now, I get this question a lot. How much money should I be giving my child? And I will link a video at the end which talks about specifically that, and I'm also going to link the video where I talk about the 5 accounts that I used with my kids when they were little. If your child is still young enough that they haven't realized that there are things at the store that they can take home with them, it is still a smart idea to get them started with the habit of managing money. So that way, the day that you go to the store with your child and they start asking about things that they want, you are ready with your secret weapon. So I'll tell you the story of how it went down in our family. When my children were about a year old, I started giving them just a little bit of money to manage and separate it into 5 different accounts. One of those accounts was their fun account. Now, even though they didn't understand exactly what the purpose of all those accounts were, I just kept consistent in giving them a little bit of money so that they could start building the habit of managing that money. So when my daughter Arya was about 3 years old, we were at the grocery store. She finally realized that there was something she wanted. So she says, "Mom, can I please have an ice pop?" And my response was, "Sure. Do you have money in your fun account?" And she stopped for about 2 seconds and said, "Oh, that's what my fun money is for." And so I saw that little light bulb go off over her head, and it finally clicked that she had the power to buy her own ice pop. Now, I didn't have her fun account with me that day, so what I explained was, "You know what, Arya, how about we go home and get your fun money, and then the next time we come back to the grocery store, you can buy your own ice pop." And she was delighted to hear that. She didn't fight me anymore, and I did not buy the ice pop for her that day. I waited for us to come back home for her to get her money, and the next time we went back, she spent her own money. So here is how to put all this into practice. Number one, start giving your child just a little bit of money to manage and separate into accounts, and make sure that one of those accounts is the fun account that they can take with them to the store every time you guys go together. And then number two, if you notice that your child has started to become aware of things that they want in the store, bring that fun account with you so that you're not caught off guard like I was. And if your children are older, you want to remind them before you walk out the door, hey, you might want to bring your fun account with you, and that will divert a tantrum once you're in the store. So one thing that would happen once in a while is that the children would not have enough money in their fun account for the one thing they really, really wanted. So in those situations, I did a couple of different things. Number one, we counted how much money they did have, and then we saw what were their options. Okay, so maybe they couldn't afford that ice pop, but maybe they could afford a ride in the little mechanical horse outside of the grocery store. Or maybe they could afford a little toy out of the vending machine. So I never really focused on what they could not have. I focused on what they could do with that money right when they were at the store. And then I gave them a choice. They could either wait until they had more money so they could buy that ice pop they couldn't afford then, or they could choose to spend their money right then and there on something they could afford. What I did not do is that I never subsidized their purchases. So if they only had $1 to spend, I never gave them any more to sort of make up for the money they were missing for whatever they wanted. This is so helpful because it teaches children to just live within a budget. How many of us have never lived within a budget? I never did. It took me so long to learn how to live within my means. And now I was able to teach my children at a very young age that if you only have $1, you only get to spend $1. So some of you might ask, what happens if my child doesn't have enough money for that one thing he really, really wants, and I refuse to give him any more money, and that causes a tantrum? Well, what you do is you remain calm, cool, and collected, and you help your child focus on the things that he can do versus on the things that he cannot do. So you want to drive your children's thoughts to what is possible. And when you do that, your child will become much more calm, and you're going to be able to deal with that tantrum right while you're at the store. So the reason why this works is because one, children need positive attention. And number two, children need to have something in their lives that they can control. Now, all human beings need that. But when it comes specifically to avoiding tantrums at the grocery store, you definitely want to meet those two needs in your child's life. So by spending time with them and explaining to them how to manage money and what the purpose of money is, and explaining them what they can expect at the store, you're building a bond, you're giving them positive attention. Once you're at the store, if they have their own money and they can make a choice about how to spend it, that is one thing that they can control. Do you have any other recommendations on how parents can stop or prevent tantrums at the grocery store? Please leave us your comments down below. And if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you join us over on YouTube so you can get a hold of those links to the other two videos that I mentioned before. If you're on YouTube, please remember to subscribe and keep watching. Leave us your questions, leave us your comments. Thanks for being with me today. We'll see you in the next video.